we don't care about them. We only care about us. We care about how many of us is paying attention, how many of us we can get the attention of, because it's our shit. If it ain't their shit, they don't, we don't have no problem with dealing with them later. But for right now, we need to get the message to us. Organic motherfucker. Alright. So if Brother Umar Johnson want to be unapologetically African, we don't mind him being, he can be as African as he like to be. But while these organic motherfuckers from this land is on the move, stay your motherfucking unapologetically African ass out of the way before you need to apologize. This ain't none of his business. This don't have nothing to do with him. If he was a real Pan-Africanist and a real Garveyite, like he say, he would understand what a confraternity is, and he wouldn't be in our business trying to tell us that we came on a goddamn ship packed like a sardine, the most dumbest shit a motherfucker could possibly come up with and believe, and talk about he's educated. Talk about he's got a scientific mind and that he can't be manipulated by the white man. Well, the white man got you thinking you came on a ship. You can continue to believe whatever you want to believe. Just stay the fuck out the way of the organic people of the land. That's all we asking. We don't care how many of you niggas want to be unapologetically African and Afrocentric, right? We don't have no problem with none of that shit, because we was already doing business, trade, and intermarrying across the water before we both got sacked on both sides of the water, if y'all not paying attention, right? But this ain't got nothing to do with that. Right now, this got something to do with the organic people of the land, Big Mama boys, cleaning Big Mama house up, and letting the rest of us know what's going on across the land. We finna hit these motherfuckers in their pockets, because we gonna make them motherfuckers scream. Right? So, just let it be known. Right? We don't care if you unapologetically African or if Afrocentric, I'm a Pan-Africanist, Garveyite too, but I ain't from Africa. Right? Because the Africans all told me, all of the Pan-Africans of knowledge, of learning, told me we was already here. Y'all already at home. What the fuck is you talking about? Right? Go back and read the indigenous books. They'll tell you. So they came up with all these color codes, skin colors, paper bag clubs. Right? They separated us by skin color. The light ones versus the dark ones and the Willie Lynchism. All that bullshit. And y'all niggas is still falling for it. I don't got nothing to do with none of that shit. It got nothing to do with me. The only thing got something to do with me is Big Mama told me to tell y'all who the chiefs of the land is and let y'all call them motherfuckers to the forefront. Because when y'all call them to the forefront, they got to tell you what the fuck is going on the land, who responsible for the dirt being done, and what we gonna do to clean this shit up. That's all I care about. I don't care if your ass came from Mars, Nibiru, Pluto. I don't care if you Ashtar Command, Pleiadian, Arcturian. I don't care if you a Wookiee. I don't give a fuck if you Jabba the Hutt. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you don't stop us from doing Big Mama job, what she sent us to do, I wouldn't give a fuck. Just stay out the way and it's all over. Ain't nobody gonna be left behind. Because she saying no guys and no little U's. You don't treat people the way they treat you. Because if you treat people the way they treat you, you're gonna be a tyrant. Goddamn right we ain't black. Right? Black don't have nothing to do with skin tone. Right? They called us blacks because they attacked us. It's a chess term. And they called themselves white because they was the attacker. Right? And we thinking it means skin color. You know, I done seen some dark motherfuckers. My boy Taz told me on Taz TV, he said, man, show me a black motherfucker. I found purple motherfuckers, navy blue motherfuckers, hot chocolate motherfuckers. I never found a true black motherfucker. Even when they dark as hell, they got some kind of tint that let you know they ain't black. Some of them got blue tint. Some of them got green tint. Some of the motherfuckers got purple tint. But don't none of them motherfuckers look like Coke. None of them don't look like, even the darkest one look like dark chocolate. Like chocolate with no milk. Right? So, the crazy thing is, I mean, shit. Melanin itself is not even black. Melanin is a dark chocolate brown, darker than chocolate, like coffee, like black coffee. If you put it in the sun, you're going to get a brown tint. Right? So, white represent death the whole time. All that shit represent death in the sense that it's a mental death. Because the mental death allows you to take a half a concept and give it a whole false identity, which causes miscalculation. And as long as you generate the miscalculation, then somebody can use the miscalculation to mislead. And this is where the problem come in, because we too quick to jump on top of some shit, some bandwagon shit, and don't want to ask nothing because we don't want nobody asking us nothing. I got informed because I wanted to be able to inform. I went and informed myself so I knew what the fuck I was seeing, even if it didn't sound right to nobody around me. But I had to go and inform myself as to what they was doing so I can inform y'all of how to undo it. Now we gonna kick them in the pockets. And so, this is the part of the game where you get to see them buckle. So, a couple of updates for y'all. As of Friday, the corporation that was defunct has no more finances. So they head into the close of business today to come up with some money that they didn't never come up with. So on the Pluto return, which is tomorrow, which is George Washington's birthday, who is the motherfucker who issued the challenge to the Moors and the indigenous to tell us who we wasn't and who they were. Right? All of this shit, my mama used to tell me all my life, what goes around comes around. All of this shit that went around is on its way back around, and it comes through a Pluto return. That's some heavy shit. Right? So we got the 2/22/2022 portal. We got the Pluto return on George Washington's birthday. George Washington issued the challenge to the Moors and the indigenous because they thought we was the same, but we ain't. And when they found out now that we ain't the same and that I can tell the difference between us and them wherever they meet. And when they send they motherfucking, because Elijah said the last trick the devil gonna do is to just freely offer you his woman. But he ain't never tell you his woman was gonna smell like a half a cow. Right? Because our women believe in yoni care. Like that's like a big thing because the yoni is the portal of life, and the portal of life is a sacred place. And the desecration of the sacred place comes in the form of mastectomies and hysterectomies. So if we understood that, by watching how our people move, watch how they move, we reverence the womb and they despise it. That doesn't make sense. How do you despise the womb when you come from one? But they don't have that respect for the womb. They got a greater respect for the phallus. You can't grow in the phallus for 9 months. It's just not going to happen. Right? So we can push this patriarchal bullshit agenda, or we can go back to us. I vote for go back to us. So I'll tell y'all the secret. The secret is them niggas that don't want to be black don't have to be black. You know, because all of us wasn't intended to be in the war. All of us wasn't part of the war. You got to remember, everybody didn't sign treaties with these motherfuckers. Some of us ain't never stopped fighting. That's why they got blowed up shit all over this bitch, flooded out cities all over this bitch, castles that's abandoned all over this bitch, because all the motherfuckers that lived in the castles went to fighting Seminole Wars. All the motherfuckers lived in the castle went to fighting Seminole Wars. Ain't nobody staying in Big Mama house if Big Mama ain't safe to come home. That's just the way it is. We ain't letting nobody stay in there, and y'all ain't either. Right? So some of them, they turned into prisons. Right? Them the ones that they didn't know what to do with. They turned them into prisons. Stinking ass motherfuckers. But I'm making shit up. When you can go look at this shit. You can go look in the Smithsonian, and they got all of the artifacts to tell you that we was over here the whole time. Right? That this has always been the great melding pot. That's not a Eurocentric terminology applied to the land. That's their understanding of the land before they ever came here. Right? Then also, this motherfucker over here didn't believe in, if you had a voice, unless you proved yourself to be a liar, your voice had legitimacy until we can analyze what you saying. We didn't just take your word for it, but we didn't discount what you said. We went and used it as a foundational tool to do a research to determine if we need to pay attention to what the fuck you saying. Because you might be telling us exactly how to get out of the problem, but we so used to now listening to the other man that we don't give a fuck what's going on with the brother man. Right? So, in academia, they was calling us Negroes, the coloreds, the African Americans, and all that shit. But in the hood, we was greeting each other. What's happening, brother? What's going on, blood? Wait a minute. Brothers. That's what Stone's vice lords call each other. Blood. That's what them bloods in L.A. call each other. Wait a minute. We've been knowing who we was the whole time and been calling ourselves who we were without even knowing we was identifying ourselves to one another in the presence of everybody, and they made fun of us and called it blaxploitation. Pay attention to the exaggeration, because the exaggeration is the thing that says pay attention. And if you pay attention to the exaggeration, you'll find a whole revelation of a nation that's been percolating under the bottom the whole time. Talking in ghetto code, did it eat, that, as motherfucking Gil Scott would say. Right? So, the parents got a language. The children got a language. They don't always speak the same language, but the children normally know what the parents is talking about. Right?
Patriarchal.
Everywhere where the women had power, they put me in there.
And I know you go over this question a lot. You answer this a lot. Why is the music industry how it is today? But if you want to drop it before, you can.
Go ahead with the rest of it. It's drugs, what?
Oh, drugs, killing, etc. Oh, it ain't showing you the whole questions?
So the music industry is how it is today because it was created by the same people that was overthrowing our system, that was occupying our land. When you go back, it's a movie on YouTube about the origins of Hollywood. You'll see the double head Scottish Rite flag being marched down Hollywood streets when it was a dirt road.
Word.
Because they the ones who created Hollywood. Hollywood is a mass mind control mechanism.
For sure. The holly tree is like that's what they use for wands. So they
Magic
just
wand.
spells. They casting spells all day.
That big old castle that used to be Disney, that was what we called the big house. That shit wasn't built in no 1900s. Nobody used that construction style in the 1900s. That's what we call it in modern times, old Gothic construction. They don't use that. They haven't used that construction style at least since the 1000 AD mark. So the castle of Disneyland had to be there at the soonest it could have been built is around the year 1000 AD. So it's at least 1,000 years old. We all left the big house to come fight the Seminole Wars. That's why it was empty when they got there.
Wow.
Most of us don't know. I did a whole video showing the castles on the land. Most of them they turned into prisons.
Because they already had the walls.
Yeah. They put the bars up later.
Wow.
They put the bar. They used to be living quarters. Right. And
the live will be saved. The live will be saved.
So it goes back to they burned our cities. They flooded cities out. They sunk cities under lakes. All that's just to keep us from knowing who the fuck we is and asserting our rights to the land and nullifying the unum sanctum decree.
Penitentiary. Yeah, that etymology, breaking down words is crazy. Once I got tapped into that, you stop calling yourself smart. Stop calling, you know what I'm saying? It's like they really flipping everything. They really flipping everything. Got us out here casting spells on ourselves. This one just says they discontinued the show because they found the information on Bobby Hemmett speaking on Lovecraft.
That's totally possible because Lovecraft and American Gods got a lot of information in it. And Bobby Hemmett wasn't no slouch. He was putting all of the pieces together. When he got a clip.
And with American Gods, you saw they kicked Buddy off. Orlando, they kicked him off.
Oh yeah,
started dropping too
that's
much.
because of the character that he played. That's the worst motherfucker. That's the nigga that's gonna be telling y'all how to get y'all shit back. They didn't want that character portrayed from that level of self-control, clear, cognizant thought, and deliver such a potent message in media. It's a movie with Cicely Tyson and I think Robin Gibbons. Robin Gibbons tell her that she just don't want to be black, so she try to claim she Indian.
I know which movie you're talking about.
She ad-libbed her response.
She ad-libbed it?
Yep. That was spontaneous. That wasn't in the original script. She stood up and she said, "Look at me. My father was full-blooded Iroquois." Right? And then she went to give another family's message. She also ad-libbed the tail end of that family reunion movie done by Tyler Perry. You got to listen to it. That's a bad motherfucker. I got to
go back and watch it. I got to go. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, too, she looks just like, my mom looks just like Cicely Tyson.
Cicely Tyson was a Iroquois high priestess.
Now, where the Iroquois? That's like Northeast, right?
Well, it's hard to say now because everybody went to fight in the Seminole Wars. So we all got mixed up. That's why they called us Seminoles, because all of the tribes was mixed down there. You got motherfuckers from the Tonga Islands, from the Polynesian Islands, from Venezuela, from Brazil, all the way from Canada, from Alaska, the Inuits, all sending people to fight the Seminole Wars. We had so much concentrated force in Florida. When they did the Louisiana Purchase, Lewis and Clark Expedition declared the land as being abandoned. That's what made them institute squatters' rights under the Protectorate Agreement in order to occupy the land until the rightful heirs reclaimed it. That's what they did. That's what that's what the whole story is about, Lewis and Clark.
Damn.
Which is also the story of Superman and Lois, because his name is Clark Kent.
Lois Lane.
Lois and Clark.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now look, Lois is the lane. That's the road, the path. Clark is the Kent. Kent is the bank. Right? The bank name is actually Old Kent Bank.
Mm.
But he ain't the rightful heir because he's not one of the Earthborn. Go back and review the story again. It got a different meaning.
Mm. That's wild.
I love me some Chief Warhorse. That
I was about to
sister
say Chief Warhorse is that guy.
Yeah, her. She ain't for no games.
Oh, you know who I'm thinking about? Nothing. Go ahead. I know you're talking about though.
Yeah,
Always
she got
the
the
details in.
right because she started telling you about the paper genocide with the with the Trail of Tears and the Dawes Road Indians that they used to replace us on the reservations.
Mm. Okay, can you see this one? Nah, you probably can't. I'm gonna read it to you.
What about when the solar flares happens?
Won't everything be destroyed anyways? What's the point in saving the system? Even
Don't look, everything not gonna be destroyed.
you
The
up the
solar flares is activating what was considered as junk DNA. The data was blocked out by a light lock. As we reclaim Earth, the light lock breaks free to allow the higher UVB rays to come in and activate the junk DNA, which will restore. Some of us will get total recall. I don't have total recall yet, but I got recall like a motherfucker. It's just not total recall.
That's wild. Okay, so this was him and Dr. G's last line. Okay,
I'm gonna tell y'all who is breaking down the solar rays. And y'all can tag him in the video. Is Kalai. Brother Kalai is the one who is explaining the UVB rays. I got a video on YouTube where he go through all of that, and then I show him the mysticism from ancient Kemet that ties to what he's talking about.
Mm.
Right. So, to find more about the UVB rays, right? Kalai is the right. That's what Big Mama got him doing.
You know what's crazy about that? I was on the live where you was just going off, and you was like, "Big Mama told me I need to get in contact with somebody named Kalai," and I was like, I was already watching Kalai's page, so I was like, let me send him this guy. Like it's just
it was Amun Ra.
Mm.
And everybody started tagging him, and he ain't know what was going on.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah,
but it took a minute for him to observe where I was coming from before he would communicate back.
Mm.
Right. But once we talked
in the 5D.
Yeah. So once he seen where I was coming from, then he was like, "Oh, I need to talk to this brother." And then Uncle Shiz hooked it up where we could have a conversation because a lot of people was trying to that internet motherfucking social media fake beef shit. Well, motherfucker say he beefing with you, and then he tell you beefing with him, and y'all neither one of y'all don't know it. I didn't know we were supposed to be beefing. So the only way that I could, right. So the best thing to do as a man is have a conversation with another man to find out if y'all really beefing.
Mm-hmm.
And when we had the conversation, he's went through the sun melanin connection with the UVBs and all of this, the solar flares, the effect on the earth. And I got a video from a couple years ago where I'm talking about all of the Egyptian description of everything he was talking about. And so when he got done, I say, if you don't mind, I'd like to go over what you were saying and show him how it ties into the metaphysics of Egypt. So then I went over it, and then we started having a conversation. But that's where we was chopping the game up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So y'all follow that brother Kalai, cause he on point with the UVB rays and whatnot. He that's what he do.
And he really about it though too. He be walking up on police officers like he ain't got no fear in his heart.
No, look. Only reason I don't do that, cause I'm a little bit more extreme than he is by nature.
Mm-hmm.
If I walk up on them motherfuckers, it's not gonna turn out as smooth. We gonna have a whole different conversation, and they not gonna like it, and I'm not gonna give a fuck, which gonna make the situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
His self-control level is to the point where he can go confront them like that and talk to them like that. My self-control level is if I want to stay away from the motherfuckers before I give it to them.
That's because you're a Scorpio, fam. That's how we get. We don't show no emotion because if we do, it's about to go the fuck up.
Yeah.
We nonchalant because if the emotions do come to the top, it's a wrap for you.
They asked about the Joe Biden Bible at the swearing
Inauguration, whatever.
Yeah, that was actually not a Bible, but a family grimoire.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been a grimoire / Bible, but it's a family grimoire. So whatever family his allegiance is to, that's whose book that was.
Mm. Yeah, that's what they were saying was a family Bible, but make that connection with the grimoire. Let's keep that one out of here. All right, so Paige again. She said Rod and Taj need to do another live because Taj agrees with you, Rod, but he still told them to address the living man or woman because they can rebut an oral declaration despite us needing to go back to it. Okay, so they can rebut just us orally declaring whatever we want to declare, despite us needing to go back to our oral traditions.
Okay. Well, we got to get Taj a chance to finish digesting the Indigenous Rights Act because once he do, they surrendered. They tapped out. That's the note on the table that the hooker leaves saying, or that you leave the hooker when you say, here's $20. Right. So they're like, here go your shit back. We leaving. Good knowing you. It was nice occupying your territory. Soon as y'all figure out who y'all is, y'all already back in charge. So the Indigenous Rights Act. So, he's still going over that information that's been presented to him on the new. He got to have a chance to digest it in order to finish giving the instructions. Right. And when he's talking about the flesh and blood living man that you need to talk to, you can't talk to that motherfucker because he hiding. He hiding. He don't want to be seen. He hiding. So you can't address him. I can't walk up to that motherfucker and put his ass on notice in his face, like what she's talking about. Right? Because he's going to hide. And he's going to put a whole bunch of people in front of him as decoys. And this is why we had to go about it by exercising the blood rights and the hereditary rights to reclaim the land and restore the land. Right? So when they left us the note, yeah, it was nice fucking over y'all. But y'all probably didn't know that all of these things belong to you already. We just telling you right here because we on our way out the door. That's what the Indigenous Rights Acts are. It's the cessation or the secession or the ceding of the position by the imposters and the invaders to the rightful jurisdiction. So now we just have to exercise our oral traditional jurisdiction. Right? But as he goes over the paperwork, you will see that his instructions will start to be more specific. And then he gonna get to the point where he gonna say, this the nigga right here you need to be confronting. And whoever that nigga is probably got on the ship some goddamn wearing dip.
Got on up out of here.
But Paige Flowers, she on top of it. She know exactly what I'm talking about. And she done been at war with the Dirty Moors too, so.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So and she got audio of the motherfucker telling her about the bodies they buried.
What?
Man, look here. them sisters, when they get the information and act on it, it ain't the same as me acting on it. I'm just gonna point you to them. They gonna make them motherfuckers confess.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole different breed.
Yeah, and she ain't for no games.
Nah,
she
I
bought
caught
her.
y'all live y'all did together.
She bought her business. When she ain't, when we first did that live, the first live we did together, she didn't know what I was talking about. You know what she did? She went behind me to double check.
Mm-hmm.
And she just flat out came back up and she's like, look, I might not agree with everything the brother say, but this part right here, he knew exactly what he talking about. Mm-hmm. And then she go back, because this is this, and this is this, and this happened, and this happened, and these motherfuckers did this, and these motherfuckers did that, and I see it right here just like he see it. Right? Mm-hmm. So, ain't nobody supposed to be 100% right. That's why we read the error when we understand in wisdom.
Right.
Right? Because you're going to make errors. So, the error in the law of efficiency applied is telling you something on a Freudian slip. Oh my God. Right. Right. And that's how you see beyond what's on the surface. Mm. Like, let's say it's 10 of us outside in the front porch and we all talking about dogs. Right? All of a sudden, one of us in the middle of talking about a dog say we need to duck the shotgun. Nigga, look for this nigga coming with the shotgun. Because we probably going to hear the dogs bark right before he show itself. The Freudian slip just told us he was coming. Mm-hmm. That's an example of how it worked. We weren't talking about shotguns. We was talking about dogs. But the Freudian slip was worrying about the shotgun. It could have been a dog named Shotgun, but he didn't make that clear to everybody in the circle. Right. Right? So now we looking for the shotgun. Lo and behold, here come a motherfucker coming through the motherfucking between the houses with a shotgun. And now we all ready because we read the error as a message. Right. What's this? What part does the Galactic Council play in
our liberation?
If we don't do our part, they ain't gonna play no part.
Get back.
Right? But if we do our part, they gonna make sure that it's enforced from a galactic perspective.
Right. How bad, famo? This we let the cat out the back door. This man and caught a rat and broke his neck. I gotta take him out. This little guy gone.
The cat caught a rat.
Hey. That must be some type of sign, huh?
Hey, yeah, definitely a sign. What color is your cat?
Black.
Okay.
There you go. You had him outside? Yeah, she was in here panicking, that's why.
Well, you know, women don't really care for them rodents too much.
Right.
Unless they grow up playing with them as part of their, you know, their culture.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and wash these hands real quick. Right. Somebody. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that shit all night. Cause the other day, my bad, maybe you can't hear, because the other day I got